Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. All right, today we're gonna be working on something for the shop. Two things actually. Got a pile of metal down here. And we're going to be making axle stands. One axle stand to narrow my rear ends and one dolly to pull the rear ends out from underneath the vehicle. I've already got all this material. We won't be using all of it. And I already got some casters. These will hold up to 200 pounds a piece, 4 of them, so that's 800 pounds. We'll see how they work. Did not and do not like how long that thing takes anymore. Makes a mess. It might be time for either a bandsaw or for a cold cut saw. But I got the 2 bottom legs cut. There'll be a single brace that comes up. A T. This will basically be an upside down T. The wheels will go on the bottom side of each one of these corners. You'll get an idea of what it's gonna be once we start getting it together. Now that we have everything cut for the stand, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do on these to hold the axle. I don't know if I'm just gonna do a bar like a V or if I'm going to cut some out on the plasma table. So I'm still not sure on that. But I do want to drill the holes in these, and to know what size I need to run to the store, because that's the only thing I didn't get is the pins I'm going to put in there. They'll be like the set of jack stands I have over here. You don't really see these anymore, and I should have got more back in the day. But this is an older style. It has a pin in it. The pin comes out, and you have adjustable holes. That's how I want to do this stand, but they're not going to be as close together. I'll probably do them 2 inches apart. I could, like I said, I might do something like this, but a little longer to compensate for the biggest axle. Usually 3.5 is an axle size. The bigger ones, they go down for the smaller trucks. Let's see if I can do this. Get that up enough. Perfect. All right, let's run to the store and see what we can find. Back from the store, these are what we came up with. Let's see how these work out. I really wanted to go thicker, but this is the thickest pin they had, like this style. I could have done like a big old pull pin, but it was way bigger. It would have been sticking out 2 more inches past. And I like how this one is. Plus, pulling the cotter pin out of the other one is a lot rougher and took a lot more effort. This one ain't bad at all. Spin it off to the side, slide it right in, and then reconnect it. I also went ahead and got the drill press set up. That was in the garage for a while. That way we can get these holes drilled correctly all the way through one time. Got this all clamped out. This is the outer post. So this will be just one hole in this one. The next tubes we do, I'm thinking about doing every 2 inches. But we'll get some oil on this and see how this works out. I like the way these came out. It worked out pretty good. Those are all 2 inches apart. At this one, this is the last one, I'm gonna leave 5 inches into the tube, the bigger tube. At the highest point, my goal is that the top of the stand will be a little over 4 foot, 48 inches, 49 inches. I'm gonna use the plasma table and I'm gonna cut out a design for 2 fingers on each side, and it'll slip down in the inside of here, and I'll spot weld and run a little weld across here on each side. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do bolts around it or bolts with sleeves. I'm not sure. We'll get there when we get there. Both of them are ready to go. Next, we'll take them over there. Maybe start prepping to put in the frame together. Went ahead and took the time to chamfer some things, put like a round edge on it. You can see everything, some of the stuff. These, I did the inside and outside because this tube will be sliding inside that one. Just like these tubes will be inside this one. You can see I kind of rounded the inside so nothing will catch. Nice and round on the outside. Chamfered this in here. That way when you go put the pin in, it's a hair bigger and it, I guess, funnels into it. We'll go ahead, I already marked as you saw. We'll drill out the holes on the bases for the wheels. Then we can start assembly. Now everything is all cleaned up and prepped. This bad boy goes right there. Leave that there. It'll go something like that. The feet down there, and then those tubes go in there to be able to make that even taller. But I want to make 4 gussets, one for each side. I'm going to make a little gusset that comes out, around, down, and curves down to here for each side. For why not? It won't hurt. Went ahead and cut 4 of them, 2 for each one. Came out pretty nice. I'll go ahead and clean them up everywhere it's going to be welded. All these little shoulders. All right, we'll get to cleaning those up, and then I have to clean the posts up where it's going to weld. So we'll clean up on the posts where we're going to put them and on the bases. getting there. That's pretty much how they'll be. Still got to put rollers on them. All that's left is to weld or tack these two on there at a certain height, probably about right here. And that's the bar. That'll be the width of it. There's how you can see it. It'll have the wheels under it still. I need to make the Y to hold the axle still, which I'm gonna do that later. And I still need to weld it fully up. This is all just tacked together, but you get the idea. It's all level, 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 well, square. This can now slide out, and then those can be raised up. Those can go up to 50 inches, and then all the way down to whatever height they are. I think I'll have to measure, I don't recall offhand. And then the width can go 4 foot wide. 4 foot wide, and the narrowest is 20 inches. I really like it. This is gonna be something I'm really gonna need here in the shop. All right, next, we're gonna move on. Before I weld that together, I'm gonna move on and start cutting everything for the axle dolly. The base of the frame is cut. This will be one of the sliders. This will be for the differential. And this is the other slider, one for each side of the axle. This is gonna be like a big eye. So go here, that'll go there. The wheel will go on each 4 corners. I'm gonna get some measurements as I'm gonna build this one similar to that one with the adjustment. So I'll get some numbers and then I'll have to cut 2 of those and then some more of the smaller ones to fit inside. And I'll do the same thing as well with the holes. We'll go to the drill press and drill them all out. Now that all the parts are cut, we got the sides, and we got the rest of the pieces for it, the square. We got the plates for the casters. A little bit of cleanup. I gotta clean up all the edges so I can weld through them. But we'll do a little bit of cleanup and then it's time to tack it all together. That's pretty much it, all tacked together. All I have to do now is tack the caster plates on. We'll get all 4 of them set up. I really like how these came out. Now I need to make something like this, but without the leg, just what's above my hand for that, and that'll finish that off. All right. last weld on this side, I ran out of welding wire. I'll load it up. All I have left is to flip it over and get this bottom side on both these other gussets. But loving the weld so far. All right, I'll be back. There they are, all done. All I have left to do, which I don't have to film, is I'm gonna drill and tap this, put a bolt there so it can hold it, as well as this one, and this one, and this one, and that one, and that crossbar. That way I can lock them in where I want them, but you get the idea. I went a little extra on them because why not? Do the best you can on anything you do, even if it is just a set of adjustable axle stands or an axle dolly. These come up and adjust. I have 4 holes in here, so I can bring that up 4 inches. These adjust all the way as well. Just pull this pin. Yes, it drops flush. Plug welded those in. And then it can come all the way up. I can drill more if I want, but I'm not gonna. This is 50 inches, and that's plenty enough for me to weld my axles and all that stuff. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can use these ideas to make your own, copy them. Any questions, any measurements, I'll share.